We're now back in the connector drawing, which you will find in your work files. It's also in the point-to-point project here, sample projects in Autocad Electrical, and I'm back in that connector.dwg file. Now what I want to look at now is using layers in Autocad Electrical. Now we did discuss this slightly earlier about the use of colour and the use of layer names to obviously identify, in this case in the connector diagram, the wires going from one connector to the other. I'm going to zoom in on a particular part of the connector diagram. So we're looking at the rocker switches here, and you can see, look, there's the connectors 1, 2 and 3, and there's the wiring looms coming off 100, 101, 102 and so on. Now the colours denote which wire is which. So you can see there, yellow is 101, blue is 100 and so on. Let's look at these layers and how they work. If I go up here to the layers panel, which is in the Home tab there on the ribbon, and I'm going to go to this icon here, Layer Properties. As soon as I go in there, I get the Layer Properties Manager. Now this is a big palette. You might want to expand it by highlighting the corner with the arrows and drag. You can make it bigger. And also as well, you might want to perhaps change some of the field columns like that. Now I'm going to expand out the layer naming column like that so that you can see in more detail what we've got here. So I've got lots of different layers in lots of different colours. And the whole idea is that all of these allow me to identify what wire is what and what colour is what wire. So you'll notice 16AWG is obviously a denotation for a particular piece of wire. But I've got a red, I've got a green yellow, I've got a black, and so on. So I'm actually giving the name of the wire and the colour of the wire in the layer name. And then what I'm doing as well is making sure the colour of that layer assists me by finding that red on the drawing. So what I might want there is a 16AWG in blue. So what I do is I create a new layer by clicking on this icon here, new layer, and we go for 16AWG and then underscore or dash, whichever it is. In this case it's a dash. You can use underscores, you can use symbols like percent symbols and so on. You can use whatever you want in the layer name itself. And in this case, blue is just BLU. Now the blue that they're using is a cyan colour, and I can tell that from the column here. We'll look at that in a moment. But I'll click here. I can then pick the colour. It's this cyan colour here. And it comes up cyan there in the colour name. I click on OK, and there's my 16AWG blue. Now if I just make that a bit bigger, there we go. You can see there's that cyan there. There's also magenta, yellow, white, and so on. I can then make that layer current. At the moment, the 0 layer is current because it's got the green tick next to it. I've selected my new 16AWG blue. Click on the green tick, that makes that the current drafting layer. So anything I draw now will be on that layer. So if I close the Layer Properties Manager and go and draw, say, a line, just draw a line here, like that, from there to there, and then press Enter to finish, that is on my 16AWG blue because it's the current drafting layer. If I highlight this layer, it tells me that that is 20AWG yellow. I'll hit Escape to deselect. Now the good thing is I can go here on the layer pull down and pick a colour that I want to use. I click on the name of the layer, that then becomes the current layer. So if I draw a line again now, you'll see there it draws it on the different layer, thus making it a different wire. Now the nice thing I can do is I can select that one there, and what I can do is go, I want that to be on the 20AWG yellow as well. So I can just select a layer and change the properties of that line. So it's very quick and very easy to utilize these layers. Now something else you can do as well, which not many people know about, is over here, right over on the clipboard panel, there's a Match Properties option. So if I click on Match Properties and come into the drawing area, it asks me to select a source object with the pick box. So if I pick that layer there, click there, and select the destination objects, that one and that one, it updates onto that layer. So I press Enter to finish. So that layer there has now become 20AWG blue. So if you've got a whole load of layers that are on the 0 layer, the default layer, but you want to update them to a particular layer, use Match Properties. Find one of the existing colours that you need, use that as your source object, and then the destination objects are the ones on the 0 layer that you want to convert to the new layer. So there's lots of tools in there with layers that you can use. And as we work through this course, if there's anything about layers you need to know, I will make sure that I tell you.